What's up, everybody? This is CJ, aka the Lone Wolf, coming to you here from the New Wolf's Cave. Yes, you're hearing this because I just moved. Let's just say I just moved in a few weeks ago. And I'm finally settled in. This has been about 2 weeks since I finally got settled in with everything. It was a pain in the ass, but at the same time, it was very gratifying. I am happy with this new place. I would have loved to show you more of what my new setup studio looks like, but for whatever reason, my camera issue that somehow in a funny way worked, but instead decided not to work, and that happens to be my phone connected to my phone that was connected to my laptop. It gave me very great quality and a very good background too. But now for some odd reason, it's not connected to my laptop camera, and now this is my view again. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to put up with this. But in the midst of everything, I have not been on here. I'm gonna just assume 2 months or so. I went out of town a couple of times. I had a lot of things going on in my life. Let's just say this. I went to the Super Bowl experience in San Francisco. I had a fantastic time over there with my family, and yeah, um, yeah, it was pretty interesting. And then at the end of that month, rode right onto the plane and went to Indianapolis for the NFL Combine. In the middle of it, I was actually on a business trip, and it was a pretty awesome time. I had a pretty enlightening experience, and I have so much to talk about from that one. Um, And then, yeah, once I got back, landed back home on March 1st, all hell broke loose from start of the month to the end of the month into part of the first week of April. So, yeah, my mind, my body, and my soul were all tested. And I was mentally and physically worn, and spiritually, it was wearing down. And that is a bad thing if it's spiritually, because then like life would have sucked completely. But I kept it going. I did the best I could. It was a bit of a transition with the moving process on paperwork and um just everything, and then getting the cosign and all that, making sure I budgeted properly, which I'm surprisingly budgeted properly. I just still look at my stuff just to make sure I'm in a good spot. But yeah, what a journey I have been on for those 2 months, and especially March. But I am here now. I made it through. Got to watch the Super Bowl. Got to watch. Um, I, I got so much. I had so much going on, and I have a little bit more going on before things calm down for my off season. So it's been an off season of no off season. I got to catch up on a little bit of sports when I got a chance to sit down, watch plenty of March Madness, even when I was moving shit. Um, Especially seeing Duke fall apart at the end of the game. So yeah, it was a great time for me. But yeah, I just wanted to come up on here and just throw in what happened to me those 2 months. I'm not going to go into everything. I'm going to make sure I lay the groundwork going forward with everything that I've done at the Super Bowl experience, at the combine, and then talk some ball, talk some basketball, talk a little bit of football, just to kind of catch up on things, and the World Cup as well too. It's coming up in 2 months. But yeah, the Super Bowl experience. I was gone between Thursday and Sunday. I had a great time with my family, just getting in. We went out to dinner, and then the next day we went to the Bay Area. Um, just kind of hung out there. Went to I'm trying to put everything together because I'm trying to think, what did we exactly do. We went to Pier 39. We went to Pier 39. We went around the city, had a great time. And then the next day, we went for the Super Bowl experience, had a fantastic time. We saw some NFL players. um, and did some stuff. And then on Super Bowl Sunday, after the Seahawks were winning the whole entire thing in the middle of it as well too, we went to a bar. It was nice. It was awesome. Not going to go into too much detail, but we did meet an actual women's pro football player who's currently playing right now for the Golden State Storm. She was pretty cool to talk to. She knows ball pretty well. She's pretty knowledgeable. She's in great shape for it as well too. And just seeing the few games we've watched, or pretty much that I've watched, and just kept up with my family on some stuff, and a couple of other people too who are like either Bay Area sports people or just in the football. I let them know what was going on with it, but it was pretty awesome. I'm actually getting into women's football. You know, kind of like how my dad was into women's basketball and stuff. I'm feeling that way about women's football. It's been great. These girls are playing well. They're playing hard. They hit. They're pretty damn athletic. They're in great shape as well too. It's awesome. It's a new experience for me, and yeah, I plan on going to one of those games next month actually. But that's something I'll just talk about later on down the road. Now, moving on into the NFL Combine, I flew out for the first time in 10 years. Yeah, you can assume how my experience started out, but I got used to flying after that. I just had to picture it. Sounds pretty stupid, but riding a train before the train goes off its tracks right into the air. So that was my mindset, and yeah, I eventually got used to flying. I think after I took off from my first stop, and then flying back got a little bit better at it. Turbulence kind of sucks, but it's just something that's going to happen all the time. But other than that, I felt a little bit comfortable. Definitely a different experience than it was 10 years ago, and then even prior to that as well too. But yeah, I had a great time. Landed in Indianapolis. Was the very first time I went up north to North, Midwest, East. I don't know exactly how Indiana is set up in the US, but yeah, that's the first time I've actually went into Big Ten country. Unless you want to count UCLA as part of Big Ten country and USC, and I'm just trying to think of other teams that are initially part of the Big Ten. But yeah, no, this was my very first time in Indianapolis in big time Big Ten country, and it was definitely a new experience for me. Being in that area, seeing how the streets are and the setup and everything, it's kind of like historical old fashioned, but it is modern at the same time. I was set up at a hotel around downtown, and it was a pretty cool experience. It was pretty nice. People are here are nice. It is diverse. It was just a whole new experience for me that I was trying to get used to, and yeah, it was all worth it, man. I'm trying to think. I know the next day I went to the I want to say like a party meetup. It was more like a networking party meetup. It was nice. They had a nice dinner. Plenty of people that were in the what we call it the SMWW world, the sports management worldwide. This was the very first time I even got to do a class and then go to some things like this. It was pretty nice. The people are pretty cool. Their lifestyles and sports is really different. Met people that either played sports or currently still playing sports, are agents, want to become agents, doing podcasting, management work, and all that stuff. It was just such a diverse it was just such a diverse environment for me. It was mind blowing. I was just trying to get a feel of everything. I know for some people it was kind of like they want to try to get a job opportunity or something like that, networking stuff. Me, I was more of networking and just kind of learning on the whole entire thing. Like, how does this whole business thing go? Just so it gives me an idea of what to do, when I get back out into my life. And it was such an experience. And then even going to the conference, which was all day from I think 8 o'clock to roughly 5 o'clock or so. Still awesome. Got to see some of the NFL people and former NFL players, GMs. one of them being a Seahawk GM. But I got to learn a lot from him as well too. So hopefully the 49ers can take something out of that someday, sometime down the road. Um, there was plenty of people, but like I said, I'll talk just full in depth about it the next time when I get a chance to, and I'm hoping to make this as soon as possible. I should be plenty set up in my new place, but yeah, I got to learn everything as much as I possibly could. I got to meet some people. There's people that I have connected to. Eventually, I will start getting in contact with them and networking. I'm just trying to recover, well, yeah, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I'm just trying to recover. I'm fully recovered in most spots. Still a few places I got to recover at, but I will be in touch with some of them. And at some point, I think we're going to start podcasting together. So I'm excited for all of that and then some. Yeah, but I had a great time in Indianapolis. Went to the NFL Combine those days I was down there, except Friday. Well, I did go Friday, but I missed down a lot of it, so I had to catch it on NFL Network just to see what was happening with the players. But I had a great time. I got to scout, I got to analyze. It felt really good. It felt really good just seeing the college players that I've watched on TV or in person that season, and then just seeing them just go out and just do their thing. It was like going to a track meet, man. It was fun, and it makes me want to go back there next year. I love this stuff. So, yeah. And then moving on from that, the moving situation again, it was a process. I had this whole thing planned out. I didn't think it was going to be hell, but I'm glad I had this whole thing set up months in advance before I went ahead with this and just got it done. Did the best I can to get some of the paperwork done, and then the paperwork just popped up while I was out of state as well too. So I had to come back, deal with all that. My mom dealing with all that in the middle of it as well too, and yeah, it was a bit of a process, but she was able to sign her part of the paperwork. I got everything else done, paid my dues and everything just to make sure everything was cool. Started moving my shit out of my old place. Went here back and forth, back and forth. And I live on the third floor. So we all know how that went. That's where the mental and physical started getting tested. And then eventually spirit just came in, got tested as well too. But I got everything all settled in, moved in, throw whatever I don't need out. I still got some stuff that I need to put away, get a little bit set up. I was surprised that this place was pretty good, so I'm blessed. I'm blessed with everything that's just happened. I worked my butt off the entire time I've been up here on my own, and just getting some help from my mom, my dad, my friends as well too. I just got all the support I needed just to help me keep going, man. So yeah, I'm just glad I'm here. I can still do this, and then I'm just hoping to make more out of this in the future. So you know, it just doesn't stop. I'm comfy, but hey, I gotta stay uncomfortable as well too. But yeah, I got done with the moving, so I'm all set. I can move forward with this. All right, so let's talk a little bit of ball. Not gonna go into too much of the NBA because there's a lot I'm trying to catch up on. So there's some stuff I know, and there's other stuff I don't know. So I'm just trying to figure it all out. But this is the entire list. I had this whole thing set up last year. Never really showed this out because I didn't do much podcasting for it. But this is my stuff that I set out from the Thunder all the way to, if I have everything all settled in. Yes, all the way to the Heat. So these teams right here are all that are in the postseason right now, even though everything hasn't been fully set, because we still got the play in between the Suns up to the Warriors and then the 76ers all the way to the Heat. But here's the thing though, for the first time, the Warriors are, I think, in the 10th seed. I think that's the first time, unless they were there last year. I'm not too sure that I remember, but I know they were somewhere low. But on the Eastern Conference side, the Hawks are not a play-in. The Hawks are not a play-in. They've always been a play-in team, and they just never seem to make it to the postseason. But now they're in the playoffs. That's crazy. That blew my mind. But we'll see how far they can get because they got to deal with the Knicks in the first round. And I don't know, man. I really think the Knicks are going to be a tough out this time. And they got Mike Brown. Mike Brown? Mike Brown? All I know is Coach Brown. I don't remember the first name. Again, I have a lot to catch up on with some of the NBA information. I had a lot of stuff going on, but yeah. Um, I feel like with Coach Brown, I think the Knicks are going to be a little bit different. Their defense is still a little bit sus to me. That's the only thing. There's a little bit of knowledge I have with the NBA, so that's one part of it. But I will say this though. I know for sure on the Western Conference side, I think the second game is going to be really entertaining. It all depends on how things go with the first game because Thunder and Spurs are just waiting to see who their opponent is for the 7th and 8th seed. Lakers, of course, has the Rockets in the first round, and the Nuggets have the Timberwolves. And this is pretty intriguing of the first round matchups because the Nuggets kind of struggled against the Timberwolves at times even though they still did pull it off, it was a competitive game. Now, I heard Anthony Edwards is back. And if he is back, kind of uh-oh for the Nuggets a little bit. This might be one of those matchups to where it could be like a game 6, game 7 situation. But I don't know because Denver's defense is not I don't know. Denver's defense is not really that good, but their offense is really electric. And then for the Lakers, I really thought this should be I think this is a game 5 cakewalk for the Lakers. Kind of. Kind of. But with the injuries to Opie, which my mom calls him, if nobody knows who Opie is, I would do some research on it. But it's Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is out for the majority of the first game. Oh, well, game of the first round of the series. Luka Doncic is currently being evaluated. We're not sure if he's going to play. So now at this point, it's going to be LeBron James carrying an effing team again, which I know about this because I'm a big time LeBron James fan. But my God, this is going to be the toughest because their defense is god awful. So if their offense can't get much going or LeBron has to be the one to carry, which these days at his age, I do not know now. Ugh, I think the Rockets can murder him. I think the Rockets are overrated. I'm not kidding. I think the Rockets are overrated. But at this point, with where the Lakers are currently situated, as far as like stats wise goes, and their player situation goes, they might actually beat the Lakers and then make it challenging for the Thunder. And yes, they will make it challenging for the Thunder. I'm a little afraid of the Rockets. I did not want to play the Nuggets in the second round. I got my wish. Now the Spurs has to deal with, I hope, the Suns in the first round. And then they got to deal with the Nuggets. So that's great for me. But now I don't know. I have to wait to see who is the 8th seed. I'm not saying the Warriors aren't a cakewalk because they aren't who they are anymore, but I still am kind of like used to how the Warriors were, so I might be a little bit nervous. But I did hear Curry is playing, but he's not 100%. So that actually works out pretty well. And Draymond Green, what is that going to do? We got Lou Dort to counteract that. So I want to see what Draymond Green does. And if he kicks him in the nuts again, he's out for the rest of the series. So I'm not afraid of him. But there is a point there is a team that I'm a little bit nervous about, and it's the Suns. The Suns might be my nerve-wracking team. So I'd rather not see them, not saying we can't beat them, but I think they can make it a little bit competitive. But for me, in this situation, I think the Suns are going to advance and play the Spurs. And you might think I'm crazy on this, but I think the Trailblazers might get there at 8th seed. I like them. I think they were going to be the most improved team this season, even though it doesn't look like it. But I think they were going to be a playoff team this year. I think they'll get into the play-in, but I think they'll be in the playoffs. So I'm rooting for them to be the 8th seed. They were the first team to beat the Thunder. Yes, I will give them that one. Congratulations. But after that, no, we made sure not to give it to them again. So, but I would love to see the Trailblazers in the playoffs. I would be very happy to see him. I would love to see him play. The East side, I've heard about the Pistons being overall. Well, not overall, but number one seed, number one seed. And then there's the Celtics, which I can never count out. They got Jason Tatum back in time, so this is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. We most likely could get a Pistons Celtics Eastern Conference Finals matchup. But then there's the Knicks. Again, with Coach Brown, I think this team's going to be a little bit different. I still think the defense is a bit sus. But I think they're going to be very competitive. And I think they have a lot to play for again. They had a chance of going to the NBA finals last season, and unfortunately it didn't happen. This could be their opportunity to. I think they got the best of the Celtics, unless I'm wrong. They did 3-1. They did 3-1. One game even with Jason Tatum, they still got the best of them. But with Jason Tatum back, I don't know. This could be a 6 game, 7 game situation if they were to get this far and then play him in the second round. It's possible. Cavs, I really don't know where they are this season. It's been kind of up and down. I don't know how they are, but they could be a hard out. They honestly could be a hard out if they are able to get past the Raptors, which I think the Raptors got the best of them. Yeah, they did. They got swept by them. If they can get past the first round against the Raptors, I think this is going to be a really interesting matchup with the Pistons. It could be a 7 game series situation. Um, and then, but and then the Raptors. I don't know who the Raptors are. I honestly do not know who they are. I haven't watched much of them or any of them. I really don't know who's on the roster. I might know one, and maybe he's still there, but otherwise, I don't know who the Raptors are. So I'm interested in seeing how it goes in the first game against the Cavs. Same thing with the Hawks. They traded away Trey. I don't know who they are. Apparently, they're better off without him. That's why they're in the playoffs and they're not a play-in team. So I don't know who the Hawks are. They got the Knicks in the first round. I want to see how that plays out, but otherwise, I don't know who they are. And then there's the 76ers. Where the hell is Joel Embiid? Where in the hell in the world is Joel Embiid? I did hear he had an injury issue, and it has lingered for a good while. He only played a few games this season, which I'm not really surprised. It's been a consistency. He's kind of like Tua Tagovailoa at this point, but it's been a Tyrese Maxey, right? Yeah, Tyrese Maxey team, and I think they're going to continue building on it. Hey, I don't know. Maybe the Sixers can make a run. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to find out. The Magic have kind of fallen a little bit. I don't know how. I don't know why. But when you have the Raptors and the Hawks just jump past them, there might be something off with this team this season. And then there's the Hornets. The Hornets. Well, just with how this roster was built, and then Club Knipple, not Club Knipple, Con Knipple. I don't know why I said club. Con Knipple. What a weird name. But then again, I kind of poked fun at it while he was playing for stupid Duke. But he's a legit player, man. I mean, right next to his teammate Flag, this is a legit player, man. I think that's the reason why the Hornets got into the plans because of Concanipple, man, and maybe another setup of a couple of players. I don't know them that well. All I know is Concanipple. That's it. And then the Miami Heat at 10. Okay, so it's we can't assume anything, right? Jimmy Butler is not on the roster. Just remember that. He's with the Warriors now, which is an interesting thing about the Warriors, too. But the Heat has players, right? Not all stars, not superstars, will accept, you know, the one player that got 80 plus points and beat Kobe's record. They could be the hardest out in the play-in and might end up making the 8th seed. This is just my chaos theory. If they somehow beat the Hornets, and I'm just saying somehow because no, I'm thinking of another team. I'm thinking of another team. I thought they were the ones that struggled against the Hornets. I don't know. But yeah, if they somehow get through the Hornets, if they somehow get the 8th seed, I'm kind of interested in seeing how things go in the first round against the Pistons. Now, I'm not saying they will beat the Pistons. I'm just saying it's just hard for me to believe Miami is going to just get destroyed. I really don't because I'm looking at who they have in the play-in, and it's just hard for me to believe that they're going to get destroyed. But they did get swept by the Magic. That's one thing. But if they're able to get past those opponents of who either one of them will be if they get past the Hornets, they might be a hard out in the first round. Probably. I don't know. The Pistons are a really good team, but I don't know. Okay, so that's just what I have for this. I don't know too much about it, but once I have some time to do some research on it before Saturday's game, I'll be able to make my slides of previews of those 16 teams that are in the postseason, and then just move forward with it and just see what happens. But like I said, the Heat might be the hardest out, but it'll be very entertaining to see who the Raptors are, who the Hawks are. Moved on from some of the players that were stars and stars back in the day. And then the West, I don't know where the Warriors are at. I'm really hoping the Trailblazers get in as the 8th seed, and then an intriguing first round matchup with the Rockets and the Lakers and the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. Like I said, I think the Rockets are overrated at this point, but with the situation that the Lakers are going through, I think the Rockets are going to just bypass that and then get beat by OKC, which I'm scared of. I really do not want to see the Rockets. I've seen how that played out the first game, but then again, after that, they swept them. So, well, not really swept them. I think they got like 3 out of 4 games. No, 2 out of 3 games. 2 out of 3 games, which is whatever because some of our stars were hurt, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's gonna be an intriguing first round matchup. But I think the second round matchup for the West is gonna be really exciting, depending on who gets in. I want to see the Spurs and the Nuggets just battle it out, kill each other if they want to, so then it's easy. I want to say the Thunder will be in the Western Conference Finals, little to no issue, but I'm just really intrigued on how things go with the Lakers and the Rockets in the first round. So yeah, but if they really want to get this far and grab this little baby right here, work your asses off and get there. As long as it's not the Spurs, f those guys, f those Spurs. So yeah, um, yeah. So that's where I'm kind of at with what I know about basketball right now. As far as the World Cup, I'm looking forward to that one. I really want to try to get tickets to one of the games at Santa Clara. I've been reading and hearing some issues with tickets and that FIFA's kind of effing everybody over. I'm seeing like category one, category two, or something like that when I'm like looking for my tickets. But then I'm reading some stuff saying, well, the ones that got the early tickets for like category one, category two, apparently for those that struggle to get them, apparently they changed, they kind of adjusted to where those guys who just got the tickets not too long ago or some sort of time after ended up getting some of the category one spots or better spots, and the ones that got it early ended up getting adjusted and they weren't happy. I don't know, I really don't know. This has been a weird situation with World Cup tickets. I'm trying to figure this out. I really want to be influenced to go to one. This is huge because I mean, for me as an American who's working his ass off to try to like go to places that I never thought I would get an opportunity to go, this is one of those things I want to go to. This is really one of those things I want to go to. I want to experience the environment, being around FIFA, World Cup, and soccer fans, just being around them. I used to play soccer myself. I went to a few soccer games, not World Cup level soccer, not FIFA, not even MLS, not even the smaller soccer games. But I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of that environment. I want to know the feeling of being around World Cup and legitimate big time soccer fans. I want to be a part of the whole thing and get the experience. I know one of the games I want to go to, I think it's Qatar, Switzerland. I gotta check. It's it's pretty odd to get a ticket to that game, but I kind of I want to as much as I want to go to Mexico, I kind of don't want to go to Mexico at this point. And then Canada, God, I really want to go to Canada, but I'm kind of budgeting with this with the apartment. So I don't know. If I get lucky and I get blessed with something, I might change my tune and go. I might change my tune and go to Canada. I still got 2 months. So anything is possible. I've done some impossible shit in my life. This would be one of those impossible shits again. Who knows? Um, yeah. But as far as the situation, I hope Brazil wins. It's gonna be really hard to believe it because all the all the lo- all the losses to the European teams, especially the last one against Croatia. God help me, I hated that ending. I hated it. Oh, this sucks. And then what's worse is we're playing Morocco in the first game to start things out. And I'm supporting Morocco too. And I gotta face against Morocco. This sucks, man. And what's worse is I can't even go to that game because it's all the way east, and I've already went there for an NFL combine. You think I'm gonna budget for that trip? Maybe. But at the at the same time, I'm not gonna do it right now. So I just gotta pick my battles a little bit and just see which games I'm gonna go to, and it's gonna be the closest one to Santa Clara. So what else can I do for right now, unless I get lucky or a miracle plays out? And then USA situation, I I I don't know. 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 I hear stories about some teams that either just struggled during their exhibitions or in cups, whatever. But when they play in the World Cup, this is a whole different story. I don't know if they had all their players together. I don't know if they're working off some injuries, some issues. I know they had a bit of a coaching situation, which was like last year, 2 years ago, or something like that. I try my best to keep up on some things like that, but I always get to the finalization of the roster and who they have, and just see who came back from like 4 years ago, from 8 years ago, playing on that team, and then just ride with it. My thing is just taking the history and just putting it to the current to see where we are with it. So, I don't know. Maybe USA comes out and they play their asses off. Not saying their group isn't bad. I mean, they got a chance to move on, but at the same time, I mean, where are we at with Pulisic? I would love to see Reyna finally have a chance to kind of stand out for USA. If anything, I kind of want him to be the leader for USA. I don't know how it works. So I think it's just me getting the vibe of how these players act and react. I think it will give me an idea if they're going to be good or not. I feel the same way about Brazil. I really do not know. But I did hear Neymar's not on the roster. For some that might say, "Oh, well, that's not good." I'm better off without Neymar. I mean, Neymar played some games, but then there was one World Cup where he got hurt, wasn't able to come back, and I'm like, "Oh, well, shit, no fucking shit." He wasn't going to be able to play the rest of the World Cup. This guy cannot stay healthy, and he's not consistent at times. But Neymar, Neymar, Neymar. I'm not really big on big time names. I mean, Ronaldinho was nice, but he just didn't get us the World Cup. So that's why I'm about Ronaldo, I'm about Pele, and until we get somebody that can stand out, I can't say I'm sold on Neymar. But at this point, I don't have to worry. Now I get to find out who could be the standout, or can we just play team ball? But again, it's FIFA. It's soccer. It's the World Cup. Who gives a freak, man? Who cares? It could be Argentina taking it. It could be France taking it. Who knows? Germany might figure things out finally and take it. Maybe lo and behold, by a miracle, USA might be able to start playing well and maybe be in line taking it. Maybe England. Maybe oh, well, Spain. Spain might be the favorite actually. They that 18, 19-year-old kid, holy crap, he is freaking awesome. I'm trying to think who else. Maybe Portugal. Maybe Ronaldo, Cristiano. Yeah, maybe Ronaldo might finally get over the hump and finally bring the crown home to his people, closing out his career. Who knows? The World Cup has to, or maybe Morocco. Maybe the Arabian magic continues on. Here in America, and Morocco takes it. I will root for Morocco, even though they're playing Brazil. But I'm rooting for Brazil before I root for Morocco, and then we're moving forward with it. And yes, I'm still rooting for USA. But hey, how can you go against Arabian Magic? All right, that was my that was my knowledge and information of the World Cup. I got a lot more to do with it, and I cannot wait to get down to business and get some stuff done. I will be posting it on lonewolf1225.com, all lowercase. So if you haven't checked out my website, lonewolf1225.com. I would say check it out. Got some sports information and I got some random posts as well too. But yeah, I'm just trying to think what else. Oh yeah, women's football. Think WNFC if I'm correct. If you haven't watched women's football, I would say just give it a shot. I know it's been out for years and everything, but I haven't really heard much about it until, I ran into a girl, not trying to make a thing out of it, but I did run into a waitress at a bar with my family, and she happens to be on the roster right now. So, you know, just seeing the women play, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, my sister could have played football if she wanted to. She's freaking tough, man. I'm not kidding. She is tough. She would have played safety and just beat the crap out of people that had the ball in their hand. I can definitely guarantee that right now. But some of these girls, either the team that I'm rooting for and supporting or other teams playing, they're pretty damn good, man. For what they have done, for what they've done in practice, probably getting themselves ready for it, man. They're playing pretty good football. So, and then that huge chick, I think number 60 for Seattle, defensive tackle. God damn, I would like to know the size. I want to know the height. Like, geez, I would if I don't know if I coached the women's football team, I would want that on both sides, center and defensive tackle or nose tackle. But yeah, I'm getting hooked on watching women's football, man. I mean, I'm not really big on spring football in general. I don't watch much of the XFL, UFL, USFL, whatever FLs you want to call it in the spring. I don't keep up on it unless it's like the spring game or college football previews for August and stuff. But women's football caught my attention. It caught my attention big time, and now I'm a huge fan of Golden State Storm. So yeah, I would say watch some of their games or just watch any women's football. It's totally worth it. To me, it's totally worth it. If you have nothing to watch as far as sports on a weekend, tune into that. Victory Plus has it. I'd say watch it. Okay. I think for right now that's about it. I'm going to try to get myself together with what I'm going to talk about for the next time, and hopefully it'll be soon too, because I kind of dragged out a little bit. I'm just trying to get all my sports research done. I like including this one. I just want to be sure I'm up to par once the playoffs start, and then college football. It's going to eventually come back. I plan on. Well, I was planning on going to a spring game in UC Davis, but yeah, the time is just it's a bit tough. It sucks, man. But yeah, I will say this. I will guarantee I am going to a women's football game at the Bay Area, so I cannot wait to check that out. Um, but yeah. Oh, before I close this out, I know I need to be closing it right now. Um, I plan on going to a few college football games this season. I have not really announced where I'm going to be going at, but I will plan on going to it. I might even tell a story of what I've done last season at some of the games I've gone to. I might even talk about a bit of my history of my travels to some of the college football games since 2022. So, yeah, like I said, I just got to get everything together. By the time I get back on here, I should be physically, mentally, and spiritually back in order. I'm mostly back in order, but let's just say not all of it. Even my right leg is not cooperating with me properly as far as just like being 100%. It's kind of tight up. It's cramped up a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit of pain in there. I'm doing the best I can to like rest and stretch and stuff, but it should be back on track. I mean, I even went to the gym to work out for a little bit. I feel like I'm ready to get back in there. I feel really, really good. I feel really, really motivated. I'm done eating, drinking, being a fat ass and everything. So I'm just ready to get back out there and just stay as healthy and as in shape as possible. So, but yeah, I'll definitely talk sports. I'll definitely have some stories and stuff. And yeah, it's great to be back on here. Knowing for the fact that before I even got on there, I had an earthquake. I went through a small earthquake before I got on here, but it's all good, man. Nothing fell. Thank God nothing fell on me or fell down. It would have been a panic. But yeah. Otherwise, again, it's great to be back on here. Hope you all have a great day, great week, great rest of your month. If you're not feeling physically, mentally, or spiritually in line, just take it from me, man. I went through an entire month of March going through this. I feel like a lot was going to break down on me, but I just had the spirit, the vitality, the mental strength, and the underdog mentality just to keep going, and it got me through 'em. And just with a little help from the people around me, man, I was able to survive. But yeah, hope y'all have a great night, week. Peace out. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.